Children ages 5 to 11 are now eligible for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine, but the real question is, will parents let them?
A recent survey from the Kaiser Family Foundation finds 30% say they will definitely not vaccinate their children at all. 5% say they'll only do it if it's required. It is coming as a growing number of parents have been opting their children out of getting shots for other vaccine-preventable illnesses.
CBS 46 investigative reporter Rachel Polanski digs into this impact. Rachel.
Yeah, Rick and Sean, parents have been using the religious exemption to opt their kids out of vaccines like measles, mumps, and other diseases since the 1960s. And while the COVID vaccine is not mandated in Georgia schools, this increased use of exemptions could foreshadow some of the challenges that lie ahead.
We were in the ER a lot.
That's how Atlanta mom Erin Castle remembers the first 6 months of her son's life.
There were definitely some scary nights where he turned different colors.
Bodie was a high-risk infant with bronchiolitis, which meant one close contact could send him into a spiral of health complications.
My really very sick kid is entering winter with no flu shot, no protection, and every kid that is around a kid who can't get a flu shot puts them in a life or death situation.
It all goes back to herd immunity, which only happens when a significant portion of the population is vaccinated. So the vulnerable among us, like Bodie, are less likely to contract the virus.
So it's really all about transmission of a disease and interrupting it.
Piedmont Healthcare's Dr. Bronwyn Garner says the same idea works for any infectious disease, including coronavirus. The hope is that the population can develop a high enough level of immunity to keep the spread low.
When you have enough people immune to a disease, the virus gets stuck and can't find a person that's still vulnerable to it.
But that won't happen if parents choose not to vaccinate their kids. So you might be asking, doesn't Georgia law require students be vaccinated before they go to school? Yes and no. Georgia children can be exempt for 2 reasons. 1 medical, or 2 religious. Now, I pulled state records, and I found in the 2011 school year, 629 Georgia kindergartners were not vaccinated because of the religious exemption. Flash forward to the 2019 school year, and that number jumped to 1,068 kindergartners, a 70% increase. That could foreshadow challenges when distributing the COVID vaccine.
What we see are more frequent and longer duration outbreaks of vaccine-preventable diseases in communities where adoption of vaccination practices are low.
And some parents are attributing the rise in exemptions to the rise in anti-vaccine rhetoric.
To see disinformation scaring parents into opting out of that for their children is a really confusing and terrifying. It's a terrifying thing to watch.
Now, a spokesperson for the Georgia Department of Public Health tells me that 2020 immunization data is not entirely complete, in part because of COVID school closures. As far as 2021, that data is not yet available. I will continue to keep an eye up on those numbers. Rachel Polanski, CBS 46 News.
Rachel, thank you for that.